What are some of the more severe punishments you've seen?
There have been cases where people go to jail, some state prison, but again, that's not the norm. That's for the extreme. But I had a client who was a fairly high profile graffiti guy who was decided that this is pretty much after 9/11, decided that he was going to tag the and I don't know if you recall, but at a certain point, all the bridges and tunnels and were monitored for terrorists. As a matter of fact, the Coast Guard had boats underneath the bridges, to try to make sure that no terrorists blew up the bridges and everything. And I was representing this one client, and at a certain point, I said, "Hey, dude, you've got to chill because you're getting to that point. You're high profile." And so he said, "Yeah, no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that." And then, 2 weeks later, it's like his tag is on the and he gets arrested. And so it was not only the cops and the Vandal Squad, but it was Homeland Security and the FBI. Like, how did he breach this? We had this covered. Like, tag. He got arrested, and I said, "Yeah, way to keep a low profile, dude." It's like so.
So, what would you say makes somebody a high-profile graffiti writer?
Just scale and persistence. Scale and persistence. I had one client who you probably know him or know of him, that would tag these huge billboards on the BQE and stuff. And he at a certain point, I gave him the low profile speech also. And a week later, I'm driving on the BQE, and there's a big tag up there on the huge billboard. And in the script of my client, which was pretty distinctive, and it said "food," and I was like, dude. So yeah. So those clients tend to, they rankle the authorities, because it's sort of cat and mouse stuff, and they're, so
So, how often are you in communication with Vandal Squad? Is it every time that they get involved in a case that you deal with them, or no?
no, not always. I'm not even going to say not often, but
It's not the
fairly
more.
often.
Oh, fairly often.
Fairly often, because they'll what the Vandal Squad will do is after they arrest somebody and the case goes to court, they have your client's number, and so they'll reach out and go, "Hey, yeah, this is Officer from the Vandal Squad. If you thought of what we're going to say about it," and so then client calls me and says, "Ed, the Vandal Squad guy." So I have to get on the phone. Then the Vandal's going to go, "Officer, I'm calling about can you please not be reaching out to my client? He's represented. You can't question him. You know that, right?" "Yeah, all right, Counselor Kunk." So so those are but there are other cases that involve surrenders. Listen, we got your client. Like, if you want to surrender, or which is generally. I can arrange favorable terms for surrender rather than them coming out to client's job or
Surrender
their
meaning
homes, and
meaning
surrender
turning themselves
going
in.
and turning themselves in, and then we'll deal with the case in court. Otherwise, we're going to go out and go to your client's job and arrest them there, or go out in the middle of the night, go to his apartment, or like that.
And how easy is it for them to get a warrant to arrest somebody for graffiti these days?
Well, it's interesting because there are warrants, and then there are warrants.